Hey everybody, Varun here from Language Academy. Guys, welcome back to another video. This video we are going to look at IELTS reading true, false and not given. One of the task type a lot of students do struggle with. In this video, I'm going to give you task description, all the rules, tips and strategies which I have used, which all my students use to crack the exam in the very first go. Especially a few rules to differentiate between false and not given, because that is something which is very confusing. And after that, I'll be practicing one sample question and I'll show you how I solve all the true, false, not given. So without any further delays, let's get into the video. I request you to watch till the very end to get the most out of it. Let's get started. All right, what happens in this task? Before I explain you the task description, let me show you what it will look like. So you'll have a passage on your screen. I have got 3 paragraphs over here. You'll have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 paragraphs, as many paragraphs. And then you'll have few statements over here. You need to compare the information in this statement with the information in the passage and then figure out whether this statement is true, this statement is false, or this statement or this information is not given. True means whatever information is here in this statement is the same here as well, or here as well, or anywhere in the passage. Whatever information here, if it's incorrect or contradictory as compared to the information in the passage, that will be false. And if there is no information about this particular thing, that will be not given. I'll explain you a bit more about true, false, not given in a while. So in this task, you will be given a passage along with a few statements. You'll need to read and compare the information in the passage. You will need to read and compare the information in the passage with the statements. All the information in the passage, you'll need to compare with the information in the statement, and then you need to select one of the following: true, false, or not given. Before we move on, what is true? True means whatever information is there in the statement. I'm not talking about the words, I'm talking about the information, means meaning. So information in the passage is same as compared with the statement. False means information is the passage is opposite or is different or is incorrect as compared with the passage, or the passage is contradicting as compared to the statement. And last, not given, which is going to confuse us a bit, means lack of information. Let's say we have got XYZ information in the statement. So if this XYZ is not available in the passage, it will not be false. It will be not given. False means opposite, means whatever is there in the statement is incorrect according to the passage. But whatever there is in the statement, if we cannot locate it in the passage, that will not be false, that will be not given. So lack of information to figure out the accuracy or validity of the statement will be deemed as, or will be regarded as, not given. For example, let's say the passage is Rohan was born 10 years back in 1991 and is the only boy to play tennis at this age. So the passage says Rohan was born 10 years back in 1991 and is the only boy to play tennis at this age. We've got 3 statements. Rohan plays tennis at the age of 10. Yes, Rohan was born 10 years back and he's playing at the moment, means yes, he plays tennis at the age of 10 will be true. Rohan is one of the boys who play tennis at this age. Means Rohan is one of many boys who play tennis. But the statement or the passage says Rohan was born and is the only boy. But the statement says one of the boys. Statement is referring to that there are many boys who play tennis, but passage is opposite. So this will be false. Third statement is Rohan is playing tennis from a young age. So according to me, yes, this can be correct as well, because I think playing tennis at the age of 10 is a bit is fair enough to consider young, right? But we don't have anything in the passage. Rohan is playing tennis from a young age. I don't know if he's playing when he started playing when he was 6, 7, 8, or he just started playing. Is playing means he's playing for a long time, but we don't have any information about that. We just have information that yes, he plays at the moment. but we don't know if he started at a young age or we don't have any reference to young age. So this will not be false. This will not be true. A few students will say this is true because you're using your own knowledge. You don't have to use your own knowledge. You have to just use the knowledge or the information given in the passage. So this will be not given. That is why we confuse ourselves, because we don't focus on what's in the passage. You focus on your background information. Remember, when you solve true, false, and not given, you don't know anything. You only know what's there in the passage. If you do so, if you don't use your knowledge, you will 100% get the right answers. Alrighty, few golden tips before we move on. I'll request all of you to pay attention. There's another task type in IELTS reading, yes, no, not given. Remember this thing, true, false is not same as yes, no, not given. In yes, no, not given, you focus on author's opinion. True, false is more based on facts in the passage, right? Remember this thing. So facts, you have to focus on true, false. Yes, no, will focus on author's opinion or point of view. Information will always be paraphrased. IELTS, they are not just checking that yes, whether you can locate the same keyword science here in the passage somewhere here. They are actually focusing on this thing, that whether can you comprehend the meaning, can you understand the meaning. Reading is not just about locating the keywords, it's more about understanding the message. So you have to focus on this thing, that your information will be paraphrased. You won't find the same information here and same information here. You'll have same meaning but different words. So whenever you read the passage or the statements, you need to understand the meaning. You don't really just need to understand the words. You need to focus on the meaning. If you focus on the meaning and don't just focus on the words, you'll be able to solve with a higher accuracy. I'll show you when we solve a few questions that is how information can be paraphrased. When you match, you need to match the meaning, not the keywords, as I've told you. Very important, whenever you solve, you need to highlight words which can alter the meaning, which can change the meaning. For example, one statement says we'll arrive at 7, another one says we'll arrive around 7. So both sound same, but they're not same. At 7 means exactly at 7. Around 7 means somewhere around 7, but not exactly at 7. So if you get word like around or almost or all, try to highlight those. For example, what we did is I highlighted only here, because if I say Rohan is one of the boys who play tennis and Rohan is the only boy who plays tennis, these two statements are completely different. So you need to make sure you highlight words which can completely change the message. You also have to focus on grammar and tense. What we normally do is we just focus on the meaning. You need to be careful about grammar and tense. For example, if your passage says Rohan used to play cricket but not anymore, this means yes, Rohan is a guy, is a person, is a boy who used to play cricket, but he's not playing anymore. Statement says Rohan plays cricket. Now, most of the students, what they'll do is Rohan play cricket, Rohan plays cricket, true. He used to play cricket, but not anymore. Statement says plays, which is present. Is he playing at the moment, or does he plays right now or these days? No. So this will be false, because this says not anymore, and this statement says he still plays cricket, which is incorrect according to the passage. Words like all, some, majority can be traps, can change the message. So all the boys play cricket and boys play cricket, different meaning. Some boys play cricket, majority of the boys play cricket, different. So you need to be very careful about with these short words. They can completely change the message. All right, number 7, answers are usually in order. What do we mean by this? That yes, let's say you have got number 8, right? In the passage, first of all, you will get the answer for number 8. Let's say you figure out the answer for number 8 here. And then answer for number 9 will be after this. Answer for number 9 won't be somewhere here. So it's better you solve in the order. Let's say you have solved, you got the answer for 8 here, then you don't really need to read this again. You are 100% sure that you'll find the answer for number 9 here. Let's say number 9 answer is here, then number 10 will be somewhere after. So this is how you have to do it. Along with this, you need to make sure you understand the statement. You do not rush and use the three-way strategy. What is the three-way strategy? You don't have to read the passage. First of all, what you need to do as soon as you get the question on your screen, you need to read the question, read the statement, I mean, and then highlight a few keywords. Then once you've got a few keywords, you need to locate the keywords in the text. Once you locate the keywords in the text, now you know that yes, you have got the right place where you will get the information relating to the statement. And then compare the information in the statement with the information in the passage, and then either select true if the information is right, if it's contradicting false, if it's not given, or if something different which is not in the passage, select not given. So true for correct, false for contradicting. If it's missing, it will be not given. So I'll show you in a while how to distinguish between false and not given. Number 9, you have to basically remember this principle. False means opposite information, not given means lack of information. You do not have to use any of your knowledge. We often select false instead of not given because we think according to our knowledge it is incorrect. But you have to only use knowledge which is given in the passage. You don't have to use any of your background knowledge. If you are confused between false and not given, what you need to do is, let's say this is the statement, this is the passage. You think it is not given or false. Consider this statement and see if you can prove this wrong when you compare it with the information in the passage. If you can prove this statement wrong as compared to the information in the passage, this will be false. If you don't have enough evidence to prove this incorrect, then it will be not given. If not sure, see the information is incorrect according to the passage, not what you think. If it is incorrect according to the passage, false. If no, then it will be not given. Do not use your background knowledge. If you follow this rule, 100% your accuracy will go up. Keep an eye on the next question. Look for keywords. Why? I told you that yes, let's say you figured out the answer for number 8 here, right? And then you know the answer for number 9 will be after. And then let's say number 9 answer is here, number 10 will be here. So when you're trying to solve number 9, be a bit aware of what's in the number 10 as well. For example, you can be a bit conscious about financial contribution or this person's name. Because sometimes, let's say you start reading from here and you're reading all the way. And you'll come to know that, yes, this sentence, for example, is giving me information about number 10. Means I have already gone through the answer for number 9, but I've missed it. So once you look at that, yes, the information or this passage or this information relates to number 10, and till here I got number 8. So the answer for number 9 will be somewhere here. Because sometimes you may miss the answer and you may spend a lot of time, waste your time reading the whole passage and then missing out the answer. But if you'll be aware what's in the number 10 or what's in the next question, what will happen? You will be able to figure this out that yes, you are on number 10 or this information relates to number 10. So number 9 is somewhere before, not after this. That will save your time and will improve your accuracy as well. You can write T for true, false, F for false, but you cannot write yes instead of true and no instead of false, because as I told you in the beginning, yes and no are completely different type of questions. False is equal to wrong information. This is something which will help us with false and not given. All right, what we'll do is we'll solve this particular passage. Let's see how many true, how many false we get. First step is to read the statement, highlight the keywords, then locate the keywords here. Make sure we don't have to just focus on the words, we have to focus on the meaning. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner of both. Both can change the message. Remember this thing. Marie Curie's husband. See, this is a proper noun, right? Name of person. So you can locate it as it is. This cannot be paraphrased. Marie Curie's husband was a joint winner in Marie's Nobel Prizes. Nobel Prize also, you cannot have any other word for this. This is a proper noun. Let's locate Nobel Prize. Where is Nobel Prize? Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize. Where's husband? Husband. So somewhere information is here. She is famous for her work on radioactivity and was twice a winner of the Nobel Prize. So this lady has won the Nobel Prize twice, but the statement says was a joint winner. Husband was a joint winner of both the Nobel Prize. So we need to see that along with her, whether her husband also won the Nobel Prize both the times or not. With her husband, Marie Curie and Henry Becquerel. She was awarded the 1903 Nobel Prize for Physics. So first Nobel Prize for Physics, she won it along with her husband and was then sole winner of 1911 Nobel Prize. Sole winner means only winner. So one Nobel Prize she has won along with her husband and the other one she has won by itself. But this says was the joint winner of both the Nobel Prizes, which is incorrect. So this will be deemed false. Next, Mary became interested in science when she was a child. So we have got the answer for 8th here, 9th will probably be afterward. From childhood, Mary was remarkable for her prodigious memory and at the age of 16 won a gold medal on completion of her secondary education. Because her father lost his savings through bad investment, she then had to take work as teacher. From her earnings, she was able to finance her sister Bronnier's medical studies in Paris, on the understanding that Bronnier would in turn later help. So we have got financial contribution here, right, which relates to this. So the answer should be over here. From childhood, her memory was very sharp. She was known for her sharp memory. At the age of 16, she won a gold medal for secondary education. But we don't have anything for science. Maybe she was interested in science, maybe she was not. We don't have any information. I think she was because she won the Nobel Prize, but the passage is not giving me anything. I cannot use my own knowledge. This will be not given. And now last, Mary was able to attend Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution. Means she was able to go to this particular university or school because her sister helped her with money. We have to look at sister financial contribution, which will be somewhere here or here. From her earnings, she was able to finance her sister. So she was able to finance her sister in Paris on the understanding that Borneo would in turn later help her. So first, Marie Curie, she helped her sister to study in Paris on the understanding means on this condition, you can say that her sister will later help her in education. In 1891, this promise was fulfilled. Her sister fulfilled her promise and Mary went to Paris and began to study at Sorbonne. So yes, Mary was able to attend Sorbonne because of her sister's financial contribution will be true. Why? First, Mary helped her sister and then she gave this condition or she had this understanding that later her sister will help Mary, which was fulfilled and she was able to study in Paris. This will be true. And that is how you solve your true false not given. So guys, I hope this video made it very clear for you how you have to solve any true false not given in your IELTS reading. It's not difficult. You need to stick with the basics. You need to understand the passage, understand the meaning. What you need to do is read the statement first, highlight the keywords, locate the same information in the passage, then compare the information in the passage along with the statements. Remember, if you cannot contradict the statement, if you don't have enough information to contradict the statement, that will be not given. If you can contradict means if you can figure out that yes, opposite information in the statement and a passage is given, then it will be a false and right information will be true. I hope the video was helpful. If it was, please do like, share and subscribe and share it with your friends as well. And do let me know in the comment section what other tasks you want me to cover in the coming videos. I will give my 100% to help you out. And if this video ever helps you to get the score, do let me know. If you need any more help, any advice, anything with IELTS, PT or any other English exam, you can contact us or visit our website on this address. Varun from Language Academy. I hope the video was helpful. Please do like, share and subscribe and I'll see you very soon. Thank you. All the very best.